What's up?
What's up?
What's going on, boys? Welcome. I hope you have your beers ready. Cheers. Cheers to all the boys and
I didn't
girls.
know we were. I didn't know we were doing a beer, man.
Oh,
Give me one second.
go get a beer. What the hell?
Give me 1 second.
All right, all right, all right. Monday night talk show. We drink beer. Banquet type of night. Absolutely, dude. Monday night beers. Can't go wrong, dude. It's not an addiction. I agree. I agree, Moraz. It's not an addiction. It's a lifestyle. Okay. Apollo is so low, by the way. Got you. Thank you, big dog. I'll turn him up. I will turn him up, skis. How's everybody's night? How's everybody's day?
All right. So didn't have any cold beer, but we got a carbless. So
All right, that's
still
fair.
alcohol.
Still alcohol. That counts. Tanner says I'm here for the Monday beers. Cheers, everybody.
He's here for the Sunday beers too, bro.
Wait, cheers me, bitch.
Cheers, buddy. Hold on.
Up to the camera.
Cheers, bub.
Cheers. All right. CJ says, great,
We
just
love it.
chilling. I'm at work, wish I could partake. Precons. Cheers from CA. Cheers, everybody. Christian,
Everybody
cheers.
cheers.
Heck yeah, man. Good to see you guys all here in chat. Hope you guys had good starts to your week. We end in with a shotgun or what? This guy gets it. CJ, yeah, I think he's drinking a carbless, he just said. He
Yes.
said he didn't have any beer, so it's okay. It's okay. We'll give him a pass for today. Damn, you fruity little bitch.
I can just go grab the bottle of tequila, buddy.
There you go. All right, I got the bottle of whiskey down here. It's all good.
Goofy.
Anyways, well, welcome to the playoff talk show. Super excited to get Apollo back on the streams this week. Glad to be back. Hope everything is good with you and your fam. We all were thinking about you and wanted to shout you out. You were in our thoughts the last couple of weeks.
I appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, of course. Moving on forward, we had a pretty eventful week 7 here at the Velocity Series. I liked to call it upset week because there was a lot of
Yeah.
games that went ways that I did not expect to go. A lot of teams had kind of unfortunate circumstances with rosters that did help that as well. The Dragons, a little too late, dude. The Dragons, they showed up, man. Just a couple weeks too late. So, yeah, it was a fun week here at the Velocity Series. We're going to get kick-started right into it. We're going to go over a couple of really key matchups that happened this week. Popped a 6-pack of beer and whiskey for y'all. Cheers. Hell yeah, Souls.
Cheers, souls.
Love it.
Let's go.
Love it. Love it. Love it. We don't have the graphics tonight for the team scores, but we'll go over each matchup real quick. We're going to start with the Bears. A 3-0 sweep loss to the Dragons. Apollo, you made your first
My
Major
bad.
League
My
appearance.
bad.
Made your first Major League
Yeah.
appearance. Little bit of
Literally-
unfortunate
Rushed home from work. Just to get shit on.
unfortunate circumstances there. It's okay. It happens. But in that series, CA and Aspect led the way with 8 goals for CA, 7 for Aspect. Sky out added on 7 assists, so shout out to those boys. Way to end the season. Going into the other Bears series, a 3-0 win over the Devils last night on stream. We all got to watch that. That was a really good matchup. It was actually, funny enough, that was a 3-0 sweep to start the night, and then we had 3 series go to Game 5 after that. So it was a pretty exciting night. The Bears took care of business, though. Precon's 3 goals, 5 from Tanner, led the way for their team, and then Dilo added on 4 himself. On the side of the Devils in that series, Sai had 1 goal. They shut him down and were able to take control of the series. Splashed was their main guy. He had 3, and Jixer added on 1 of his own. Moving on into the next Devils game, they played the Storm also last night, losing in a Game 5 thriller. So the Storm showed out. Bennis, I think, had the craziest game we've seen a player have all season. I don't think we've seen anybody score 7 goals in a game this season, in a singular game. We've seen it in a series, but in a singular game, that was unbelievable from Bennis. He absolutely took it to the Devils. He had 11 goals in the series. Xanadu added on 3 and Nirvana with 4. On the side of the Devils, Cy with 2, 3 from Splash, and 4 from Jixer. Then we'll go into the next Storm series. They had a 3-0 win over the Sharks early on this week. Xanadu. It was the Xanadu show. 6 goals from Xanadu, 2 from Nirvana, and 0 from Bennis. But it was all they needed in the 3-0 sweep was the 8 goals from Xan and Nirvana combined. Moving on into the other Shark series, now a 3-0 sweep over the Wolves. Absolutely dominant. We had this game on stream. They freaking just came out hot. A Fish continued that role that he was on in week 6. He had 7 goals in the series. Souls assisted 6 of those. Pepper had 6 goals of his own, is the most he's had in a series this season. So they just played through and through amazingly. Beautiful series from them. Moving on into the next Wolves series now. A 2-3 loss in Game 5 to the Ninjas last night on stream. This was a series for the ages. The Wolves went up 2-1. The Ninjas came back, won Games 4 and Games 5 on the back of Angel and Spongy. But we'll go into the Wolves stats first. Ryan, 3 goals. Buddy with 6. Navik had 2. On the side of the Ninjas, Angel, 4 goals. Spongy led the way with 7. And Gerb had 7 saves. Little shout out to Gerb there. Played very well last night for his team. Their other series, earlier in the night, a Game 5 loss to the Vipers, a game that ended up being the clincher for the Vipers, getting them into this playoff tournament, getting them into this bracket. On the side of the Ninjas, Angel with 5, Gerb actually with 5 goals. Spongy had 2, a little bit of a rough showing from Spongy there. He was able to capitalize later on in that Wolves series. On the side of the Vipers, Secure actually was the guy. He had 7 goals in that series. Moraz had 1 of his own. Gnosis had it on 4. Moving on to the next Viper series, a loss to the Dragons in a sweeping fashion. This was the series that took me by shock this week. The Vipers absolutely got blown out by the Dragons, and it was full rosters, but from either team, and it was really unfortunate because watching, I'm like, man, the Dragons, they were right there, dude, right there all season, and they had Game 5 losses, and this week they finally showed out, so it was unfortunate, but a really good showing. Gnosis 3 goals in that series, Secure 2, none from Lynx or Moraz, but on the side of the Dragons, CA with 4, Aspect with 5, and Skyout had 2. That wraps up all 8 Week 7 matchups in the Major League. We had all of them on stream. In fact, every single game at the Velocity Series this week was streamed. The only one not on the main server was on Buddy's channel, and so we do appreciate Buddy stepping in on Wednesday night to stream, or it was Friday night to stream the Tornadoes Dracos game. Like I said last week on the talk show, I wanted every single game on stream. We were finally able to do it, and I just wanted to show you guys and appreciate you guys. Especially those 4 teams that got eliminated this week. Make sure you guys got your time on stream before we ended it. Anyways, sorry. That was a lot of rambling. A lot of stats really quick. Went over a lot of information. Apollo, what was the one Major League game this week that you think really affected the playoff bracket? I've got mine, but I would like to hear yours. The biggest change of the bracket.
Biggest change of the bracket? I mean, going through with, I would say it's probably going to be one of the matches from yesterday, and that would be the Vipers beating the Ninjas. I mean, it locked in a playoff spot for them.
Yeah.
Without that, we would have the Devils instead, as obviously now they ended up getting eliminated after that match against the Storm there. But yeah, I mean, Vipers, they showed up when it mattered. Like you said, they did lose to the Dragons earlier in the week, but they won the one that got them in, and that's really all that matters. I mean, at this point, who cares about what happened during the season? We're here in playoffs now. Yeah. Every match forward is what matters. It doesn't matter if, you've got a team like the Bears and the Storm that went 10-4, or you've got a team like the Vipers that are 6-8. I mean, it doesn't matter at this point. Each match is what needs to be focused on going forward. You need to have a short memory at this point, especially if you are the Vipers not having the greatest season. Well, now, Bears and Storm, they had a good one. They're going to want to ride that high, but it's definitely going to be something that you got to just get over that hump and now get into playoffs.
Yeah. Well, and if history has shown, it's that having the 1 or 2 seed really has not benefited too many of our teams here through. Yeah. This is now our 3rd season since the reboot. Neither 1 seed has ever won This is the first time we've had the 2 seed get a bye as well, so we'll see how that affects things. We've done the wild card game in previous seasons, but the 1 seed has not won this thing. In fact, in season 1, we had the 5 seed Lumberjacks win it all, and then in season 2, last season, we had the Devils, who I think were number 3 or number 4, win it all. So the teams that had that first initial playoff series to kind of warm up, get ready, get the feel going, those teams that know that they just got to win 1 series and they're in the finals. Like the Bears and Storm are sitting there going, we got to win 4 games and we're in the finals. It's a good thing. It's a refreshing thing, but at the same time, it could also be a step back. It can be a confidence thing that you might overthink it. So those teams that have a series to kind of get warm, those best of 7s, they're longer series. It's not just 3 games. You can go down 3-0. If someone blows a 3-0 lead, I'll be shocked. But you can go down 3-0 now and make your way back. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm super excited, and I'm really, honestly, I've been really hard on Gnosis all season long, and everybody knows why. But I'm very, very, very happy that they got in. I definitely am excited. I think that if I had to pick Vipers and Devils right now on a field, I'm picking the Vipers all day. Gnosis and Secure are just better right now. Cypher is Cypher, and we know what he can do, but I just think the supporting cast was just not ready. And I know that Splash, has past, experience and won with Bennis and stuff like that, but I just think that the Vipers, what they bring to the table, they can be scary. Tanner said it 3 weeks ago on the talk show. Of the lower seeded teams, they're the one that he's scared about. So I'm very excited. I'm excited to see what Gnosis and Secure can accomplish. I think that they have, if I'm looking at it, they've got the most favorable matchup going into week 1. I know that the Wolves are trying to get Trina into this series, and even so, you don't know how he's going to play. The kid hasn't played the game in 2 weeks. He's been in Spain. He's going to be at a gaming cafe with a bunch of other people. You never know, not with his controller. You just don't know. There's so many factors to go into that. I think that was a huge win for them last night, a huge confidence boost, and now Gnosis can kind of go, whew. He's just been so stressed all season trying to maintain and fix that roster to a T, and I think it'll finally pay off. Hopefully, we'll get into our predictions later, but I think the Vipers are a team last night that showed that they're not one to be messed with. They beat the Ninjas last night. They came in. The Ninjas had a chance at a bye last night. They went in. They had 2 series. They had, the one versus the Vipers, and then they had the one after versus the Wolves. The Wolves one was supposed to be on paper the harder one. They ended up winning that one in Game 5. The Viper series, they win that one. The Ninjas, they had something to say last night. The Storm got taken to Game 5. The Ninjas could have been right there at a bye, but the Vipers stopped that immediately. So excited to see what Gnosis, Secure, Lynx, and Moraz can accomplish in the playoff bracket. That is also my biggest game from this season. Or from this week. Let's go on into our Major League Players of the Week before we take a peek at this bracket. Your Week 7, Season 3 Major League Players of the Week is going to go to Spongy, Angel, Bennis, Skyout, and King CA. Congratulations to these boys. Skyout led the way. He was the highest assister this week. King CA absolutely showed out. 12 goals in 2 sweeps. Bennis, 11 goals last night in 1 single series. Angel and Spongy absolutely just dominant, continued to do what they've been doing all season long. Happy for these guys. Super excited to see some familiar faces. Spongy, Angel, Bennis, and CA all have earned Players of the Week prior. Skyout, his first time. Welcome to the board. Congratulations. And definitely well earned by all of these gentlemen.
And also shout out Spongy with the Culvers.
Absolutely.
We love it.
What a guy. What a guy. All right, let's take a look at the Major League bracket. First and foremost, Wolves and Vipers still waiting on a scheduled date there. Going to be a very interesting series. Ninjas and Sharks, we already have a confirmed time. Wednesday, 8 o'clock. Going to be a thriller. I am so excited for that series. I think of all 4 wild card matches between Major League and Minor League, that's the one I've got my circle around. That's the one that I am just so excited to see. Are the Sharks going to be able to do enough to stop Angel and Spongy? Is a Fish going to be able to continue what he's been doing the past 2 weeks. Souls has he's been doing what he's been doing all season. Souls has been playing very well, and he's been playing very well for the last 4 weeks. The last 2 weeks, the difference in that team has been Fish. Fish has absolutely taken it to a next level. No, the Devils are not in. They got eliminated last night. LGM for not knowing that. Just
LGM, he says.
Just teasing.
Awkward.
Just teasing. And then obviously moving on in the semifinals, the Storm and Bears awaiting to see what happens. The Storm will play the lowest available seed. So if the Vipers upset the Wolves, the Storm will play the Vipers guaranteed. And then on the side of the Bears, they will play the highest seed. So if the Wolves did beat the Vipers, they would play the Wolves no matter what. But if the Vipers beat the Wolves, the Bears will play whoever wins Ninja Sharks. So that is how that will happen. And then those wildcard matches will take place between now and Friday. And the semifinals will take place Saturday, Sunday, or Monday night. And then our grand finals will be either Wednesday or Thursday next week. Does this guy ever stop talking? Sheesh. Shut the fuck up, JJ.
That's the whole point of a talk show. I mean, it's kind of in the name.
Yeah. Bro.
But yeah, looking at the bracket, what are you thinking goes on with those wild card matches? Do we want to get into predictions of how we think it's going to play out in the Major League?
Let's do it. Let's go into let's game by game. Let's start with the first series, Vipers and the Wolves. We've got the 6-seeded Vipers, the 3-seeded Wolves. Give me your thoughts. Best of 7 series. Who's taking it home?
I'm thinking this one goes all 7. And I'm going to go on a limb and say the Vipers pull it off, man. I mean, I do think a lot of that has to take into factor if Trina is going to play or not. If he does, obviously being over in Spain, I mean, that's a pretty big ping difference. I mean, we do have EU guys playing regardless, so it's not going to be an excuse at all, but I do think with how the Vipers have started to play towards the end of the regular season here, especially that last match last night to clinch that spot, I do think they have enough, and they have what it takes to beat this Wolves squad. They've really got to be on their A game and cannot let any of those little mistakes really bite them.
Yeah, and two teams really heading in weird directions. The Vipers really have not been able to get anything going all season. It's been up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. They were like 4-4 at one point. Now you're finishing the season 6-8. Kind of rough start to the end of the season. The Wolves, totally different. The Wolves went way up there. They were 8-2, 8-4 at one point. They lost 4 straight. They're 8-6, and found their way out of a bye very quickly, moving in the wrong direction. Buddy has had a rough couple of weeks. Ryan, a really rough couple of weeks. And Trina not being there, Navik having to step up into a role he maybe not was comfortable with. I think this team has just had struggles. I think obviously there was miscommunication. We've all seen it from, Ryan's chats and between him and Trina and Buddy. They weren't sure how to manage the sub games with Navik and Trina going out of town. They would have handled them differently. So Navik maybe would not have played as early in the season. He definitely got a lot more sub games in because Trina departed later. It's interesting. I just think that the vibes there are just trending down. But I think that they're still good. They still have the talent. We know what Ryan brings. Buddy has shown that he is capable of being a top 10 player in this league this season. And if Trina's on the field, this could go well. This could be a win. We could overthink this all day, say Vipers win, but if all 3 of them are there and all 3 of them play well, they absolutely are better. They are absolutely better if the 3 of them are on the field all playing well. They absolutely have
Agreed.
the advantage. They have the third man advantage. They have advantages everywhere. I don't know that is going to be the case. I am also taking Vipers. I'm going to take Vipers in 6. I think that Gnosis is going to be the best player in the series. I think he's going to be too fast. And I think if Secure and Moraz, what I've seen from them in prior weeks, and especially from last night and what they did versus the Ninjas, if they play composed, play their game, don't get out of sorts. Last night was the first time I've really seen them play like thorough Rocket League. Like it's kind of just been like the Gnosis show, and then we'll see where Moraz and Secure fit in. Last night was the first time I've seen Secure actually get involved. He had 7 goals last night in a single series versus a good team in the Ninjas. He was the better player last night. And I think Gnosis finally was like, oh, hey, look, there's a reason I brought this guy onto this team. He can score. He can do things. And Moraz and Lynx are both capable thirds. I think Lynx honestly should touch the field in this game. I think they should rotate those two in and out. So we'll see what happens there. I do take the Vipers in 6. I think it'll be very interesting. That does mean that if our predictions are correct, we will get a Vipers Storm matchup, which is also very intriguing. But we'll go into our other matchup first. We've got Sharks and Ninjas.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on that one?
God, this one is so tough. Like I said, this is the big circle. This is the big circle. My heart wants to take the Sharks, but I can't do it.
I don't think we've seen enough consistent play from them to confidently take them to win the series. I feel like we have seen more consistent play out of the Ninjas. Like I said before, it really doesn't matter what happened in league play at this point. You got to kind of forget about that. It is a little harder to do it than actually just say it. I do think if the Sharks keep performing how they have been and just running on all cylinders, they easily could win this. I don't think it's going to be a massive blowout. I think regardless whether it's Sharks or Ninjas, it's going to go at least 6. I think I got to side with the Ninjas on this one. I want the Sharks, just with how strong they've been the last couple of weeks. I want them to advance. But the Ninjas, they've found the right formula with Angel, Spongy, and Gerb, especially now, really popping off in that Vipers series. So it really is just going to come down to if the Sharks can continue that play.
And you mentioned it perfectly, is it's going to come down to Gerb. And if Gerb plays well, the Ninjas are just better. And honestly, it doesn't have to come down to Gerb either. We're forgetting Angel is that guy. Like, Angel is that dude. Okay, and if Spongy's playing well, those two, like, as a tandem, as a duo, those two have better stats than anybody in this league. There is not a single 2 people on any other team that come even close to these guys. Those two have absolutely had a fantastic season. Souls and Fish have to match that energy. The Sharks have the third man advantage. Pepper is better than Gerb. I'll just tell you that right now. Pepper's going to be better than Gerb. He's reigning defensive player of the year. He's been here before. He's comfortable. He's been in the finals before. Pepper's going to do what he needs to do. Fish and Souls is where the pressure is. More particularly, I think it's on Souls. I think Souls has to show up. He has to match Angel. He has to. Fish is going to score. We've seen it in the last 2-3 weeks. When Souls gets past the front line, he gets past 1, he gets past 2, and he sets it up for Fish, Fish is scoring. And he's scoring from anywhere. But you've got a guy like Spongy who's just incredibly smart all the time. I just think that's where they might run into a couple of issues. I think Spongy's defensive abilities might be a hindrance for the Sharks. I think the Sharks might have trouble scoring is my problem. But if they do catch Gerb in difficult situations, I absolutely think that the Sharks will take advantage of them. It's going to come down to Fish and Souls. Are they good enough to come out, show out? You have to win 4 games. This isn't winning 3 games. This isn't just losing in game 5, winning 2 games. You got to win 4 games.
It's a lot. It doesn't seem like much more, but it truly is. I mean, look at how many times that we've seen teams go down, 2-0 and come back and win in 5, but you need to get that 4th win now in the playoff series here, so it's going to be a lot harder.
Yeah. I just trust Angel and Spongy just a little bit more from what I've seen. I think you can try to single out Gerb, and that's fine. We obviously know that Pepper's had a better season, but I just think that Angel and Spongy are too much, and it's really going to come down if Spongy has a series like he did. We kind of saw both sides of Spongy last night. Spongy versus the Vipers, the man was struggling. I think if you're Souls and Fish, go watch what the Vipers did last night. They got Spongy uncomfortable. Angel couldn't carry the show by himself, and they won. They won in Game 5. In the other series versus the Wolves, Spongy was comfortable. Spongy was able to do what he wanted to do. He took over. He took over, and then it made easy for Angel. So I think that's where the Sharks need to focus. I've got Ninjas in 6.
I'm gonna have to match that. Yeah, Ninjas in 6. I could see it going 7, but I think the most realistic prediction there is Ninjas in 6. Which then means that would be Vipers Storm and Ninjas Bears. What are your thoughts on those 2 matchups?
not going to get called out by JJ for not having a suit jacket on, so... all right. All right.
We love to see it.
You know, I'm just not going to get called out like that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I just, anyway. Yeah. But I absolutely could see the Sharks winning. And I would love to see them win. I just think I have to, if we want to take the entire season into focus, I just trust the Ninjas more. But we'll see what happens. The Sharks, look, Souls and Fish, don't say anything. Just say K. Love it. All right. Let's move on into the minor league. Or do we want to predict? No. Do we want to do the whole bracket?
Do you want to? Or do you think it's too early for that?
So by our predictions, we'd have Ninjas, Bears, Storm, Vipers.
Correct.
Okay, Ninjas, Bears, I think we're both citing Bears, correct? So we got Bears going to the finals, and then Storm, Vipers, I think we both have Storm. Probably in 6 or 7?
I would say Storm, Vipers. I'm going to put that, honestly, 5 or 6.
You think Storm just take care of business?
I think they do. I mean, after watching Bennis last night in that Game 5, how can you not feel that way? Like, the guy just popped off and took control. It was to the point where it didn't even look like he was trying out there. I do think the Vipers put up a fight, but I just feel like the speed of the Storm with Bennis, Xanadu, and Nirvana, it's going to be too much for the Vipers to handle. I do think they kind of sneak away with 1 or 2 wins, but I really don't see it going 7.
Fair enough. All right.
And then on the Bears side, yeah, I've got Bears going. I would say if any semifinals match goes to 7, it's going to be that one.
Yeah.
I would say Bears in 7, if not 6.
If the Sharks get there, I'm sorry. Actually,
that's going to be tough. They did just 3-0.
They did. 3-1. They 3-1'd them.
Yes, sorry, 3-1.
If the Sharks beat the Ninjas and get to the Bears, that's where I think, like, just confidence and, like, we know that we can beat this team. We beat this team, like, 2 weeks ago. And the Bears kind of, like, thinking, oh, hey, we just lost to this team. Am I getting their head a little bit? Honestly, if the Sharks beat the Ninjas, the Sharks are going to the ship. That's my call.
Really?
If the Sharks beat the Ninjas, the Sharks are going to the ship. Tanner says no shot.
Yeah. If Sharks beat the Ninjas, I could see Bears Sharks going 6 or 7, and it really just being like that nitty gritty, super physical match. But I don't know. I feel like the Bears have learned their lesson with the Sharks. Maybe I don't want to say underplaying their mindset really going into the Sharks, because again, I mean, the Sharks throughout the season did not have that great of a record, did not have that great of a season in general. So maybe kind of went into that match going, we've got this, don't even worry. But obviously now that it's playoffs, they've got to focus.
Fair enough, Tanner. That is fair. I do remember that.
Yeah, because the man was drunk.
All right.
That is very true.
Let's go on into the minor league. Let's review week 7, and then we'll get into their playoff bracket. But we're both in agreement. We've got Bears Storm in the finals, and we'll wait for that.
Bears Storm finals.
All right.
Yep.
We'll wait for that. All right. Let's get on into it. In the minor league, we'll start off with the Dolphins, a 3-1 win over the Cubs. The Cubs
not a good match.
The Cubs came out in game 1 and annihilated. It was like, okay, the Cubs are going to take care of business, do their thing. And then Denton sat game 2, and then the Cubs didn't win again. And it was like...
kind of just fell apart.
What happened? So in that series, Tinton led the way, 8 goals, 5 from Wool. He was the showstopper in that one. And then GWK added on 2. Apollo with 2, Denton with 3, Christian with 2, Bird Nana with 1. Our next minor league series was a Demons 3-0 sweep over the Samurai, knocking them out of playoff contention. The Demons, Hakan led the way with 5 goals, 2 from Mini Medic and 3 from Rip Shark. On the side of the Samurai, 1 from Golby, 2 from PXN, and 1 from Legend. We all saw what happened in that series. We don't need to talk about it. Poor Miss Legend. Moving on to our next one, the Tornadoes. A 3-2 loss to the Dracos. Screech led the way from the Tornadoes there with 7 goals. On the side of the Dracos, it was Terry, Shady, and Brain. 7 from Brain, 6 from Shady, 4 from Terry. On the our next one, Coyotes and the Cobras. The Coyotes, a 3-2 win, a playoff clincher. CJ led the way, 6 goals. Chaos stepped up, added 6 of his own, and then Callan, 5. So we had a 3-man onslaught there from the Coyotes over the Cobras. The Cobras led by Sim, only 2 goals. He had 14 saves, though, in that series. 4 from Rush, 10 saves as well, and then 1 singular goal from Sway. That wraps up our minor league week here at the Velocity Series. Let's take a look at our player of the week. Players of the week, CJ, Screech, Terry, Tint, and Chaos. Congratulations to all of these guys. Very well earned. Screech eating a banana has to make it on stream once a week, or it's not a Velocity Series stream at this point. Tint,
right.
Tint getting on the board for his first player of the week, and Chaos also his first player of the week this season. Congratulations to those guys. CJ, Screech, and Terry all have had them in the past. Congratulations on earning them again. Fantastic week from the gentlemen. And let's take a look at the minor league bracket. If there is one similarity here, I just want to point out in every bracket, you can tell me it's rigged. You can tell me that it's fake, that I make it up and I rigged the series. But I just want to point out that there is one organization that holds both number 1 seeds, and that is the Storm and the Tornadoes. So, just WGM. I'm just kidding. Let's start off with our first matchup, Dracos and Coyotes. What do we got?
I'm going to stick with Dracos here. I just think with how they've been playing, obviously took a pretty big loss against the Cubs in week 6, but it was kind of weird circumstances. Internet went out, had to resume a little later. I feel like it could have played out a little different if none of that did happen. I just feel like with that strong outing and that strong win against the Tornadoes, they're really going to ride that high. They've got the momentum coming in. Obviously, the Coyotes, they did clinch a spot. CJ, Chaos, and Callan, all 3 playing really, really well. I don't see them putting enough pressure on that's going to make the Dracos collapse. I mean, if you look at the stats for Terry alone, for the saves, this guy has 65 saves, which is an incredible amount. I mean, clearly
69 if you include the major leagues 4 that he had.
Yes, if you include the major leagues as well. Yeah. Well, but regardless, I mean, just incredible defensive play, and when they do get those saves or those huge clears, they're able to capitalize. I do see the Coyotes putting up a fight, but I do think Dracos are going to win this one. I'm probably going to go 7 for that one. I'm going to go Dracos 4-3.
Love that. I think this one ends pretty quickly.
You think so?
I do. And this is no shot at the Coyotes. CJ's a fantastic player, and Chaos has stepped up this week. But when you look at the Dracos and you look on paper, Terry, Shady, and Brain, all 3 very compatible Champ 2 threes, all very good players. With what I saw here on the field this week, Terry, he's just in the right place at the right time all the time. Shady is just fast. Brain is the question mark here. If Brain plays well, this series honestly could be a sweep. It honestly could be. If Brain plays well, he's better than Callan, and he's probably better than Chaos if he plays well. Now, if Brain gets in his head, like we saw in our series, which allowed us to get back into that series after going down 2-0, we almost brought it back for a reverse sweep. Should have won Game 5, lost in the last 30 seconds. It happens. But Brain was the one that we started to pick on, the one that we were like, okay, hey, that guy's having a rough time. Let's take advantage of that. If he plays well, the Dracos are just better. They are just better. Terry is just too good. He's going to be defensive onslaught. He was the number 1 defensive player all season long. Shady, absolutely fantastic on the offensive side of the ball. If Brain gets it figured out, I think the Dracos win this one 4-1. I'd be shocked, honestly, if they play well. I'd be shocked if the Coyotes get a game. I do think that this one ends 4-1. But if CJ, it just depends. I've seen CJ play very passive this season. I've seen him play very aggressive. I know that he's going to probably try to play a little bit more passive and try to make up for maybe some teammate mistakes. I just think that he can't 1v3 from backfield, and it's just going to be too hard. I think that they're just going to bring too much pressure, and they will take care of business.
I mean, yeah, I definitely could see it going that way as well. I just feel like with the season on the line, Coyotes might kind of
totally fair.
Get that
totally
that
fair
inner howl to come out, if you will.
Ow!
All right.
Nah, yeah.
This man and his animal noises.
I've got Draco's 4-1. I just think that they're gonna.
You know what? I'm gonna take Draco's 4-2.
Okay.
I'm gonna change the 4-3. I'm gonna go 4-2.
A dolphin? All
right, man. All right. Let's seal the deal on that one. Anyways.
Yeah.
On to the next one. Number 4 Demons. Number 5 Cubs.
You're not allowed to give analysis. You're not allowed to give analysis on this one.
Damn.
You're not allowed to. You're not allowed to. Screech said, "That's where the dog is." Screech.
Damn right.
All right. In my personal opinion, the Cubs are the better team here. They are better. But I think that they have a weakness, and it is that they do not have a third man. They don't have an identified third man, and I know that you agree with that. You don't know if it's Christian. You don't know if it's Berknana. You kind of have been rotating them both in and out. Neither has really produced to the level that you'd like to see them produce, which is why you're continually rotating them in and out. I think Christian has to play confident, and Berknana has to play faster when they are in the game. Christian, he's there, he's capable, he's shown that he can play and that he can compete in this league, but he's also shown that he can be a weakness, that he can be, a guy that gets beat. So that's where my question marks are. On the side of the Demons, we know what we're going to get out of Khan. I'm a little uneasy about Mr. Mini Medic. I think he's had flashes where he's been very good, and then in their series over a week ago on stream, it was a little shaky. As third man, he was just kind of like, he was just there. Ripshark and Hakan were doing things, and Mr. Mini Medic was there. He was just like hitting the ball when he was supposed to. We didn't really see a lot out of him, but I think that I've seen him play. The guy's more than capable of being a very good player in the minor leagues. So I'd like to see him step up to a next level. I think this is the series to show that. If he can match Hakan and really start a two-man tandem, I think let Ripshark fall back into that third-man role. From what we've seen previously, Medic has stepped into that third-man role, and Ripshark's been a little aggressive. I'd like to see Ripshark take a step back, because I think Medic has better mechanical skills and can show a little bit more and help Hakan out a little bit more in a series where Ditton is going to be really quick. We know that you're going to be really quick. I think that's where they can take advantage, is if Medic shows up and takes the game to a next level. Oh, can you get a Ripshark? Ripshark! Yeah. I've got Cubs.
Are you the announcer for Halo?
Dude, I don't know why. Ripshark is so fun.
Kill.
Ripshark. Ripshark's so fun to say.
I like it.
I've got Cubs 4-2. Cubs 4-2, but I think if Hakan and Medic show up, I could see this game going 7. Go ahead and give me your thoughts.
I honestly, I'm 100% with you. I couldn't have said it better myself. Like you said, we know what we're going to get out of Hakan. He is that guy. I mean, for the Demons, he's definitely the number one. If they do find a little more team play and chemistry, I do think it could go pretty far. But if we're just looking at it purely off of what we're seeing on, let's say the spreadsheet, I'm thinking, Cubs 4-2 probably.
All righty. Let's take a look back at our bracket. If those predictions were to be correct, the Dracos would head on over to the Cobras, and you and I would get a lovely little face-off in the semifinals. Let's start.
That'd be kind of hot.
Let's start Cobras Dracos. I love the Cobras, and I love Simeon. The Cobras, I just genuinely think got the benefit of the doubt in a lot of series this season where teams had to play with a little bit of predicamented rosters, which led them to their record. I'm not saying that they're not a good team and they're not deserving of their 5 wins, but I think that they got a couple of teams at the right time. I just think that the Dracos are too well-rounded. I think when Rush and Keen get put into certain situations, I just don't know if they're going to be able to match what we'll see from the second mans in Shady and Brain. I do think that series goes far. Last time we saw those two teams play, the Dracos went up 2-0 and were up 3 goals with a minute left in game 3 and then lost and got reverse swept. It was crazy. And at one point they had a ball that was like 98.9% inside the net and it somehow got saved in overtime, and then the Cobras literally did not stop from there and they reverse swept and came back. I think the Dracos do take care of business here, do earn themselves a finals bid. I've got Dracos 4-3 in a game 7.
I'm taking that as well. I mean, I think you hit it right on the head with that. We know what we're going to get out of the Dracos. I do think the biggest question mark in that one is going to be Keen and Rush's. Obviously, we've seen them play Sway quite a bit, so it ultimately is going to come down to scheduling, and obviously we're going to try to get all the games played when each team has their starting 3. But just, yeah, the head-to-head going, let's say a guy like Sim against Pleb and Keen or Rushes against Terry and then Brain against the other. I just feel like the Dracos have the upper hand in that one.
Just marginally.
Yes, marginally. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I do think they do have the upper hand. It all really comes down to who is actually going to be in the groove that day. So it could go either way. I will say it's going to go 7. I'm going to say Dracos now, but I would not be surprised if it was the Cobras.
Absolutely. All right. And for ours,
howdy, partner.
I'm not going to even predict it. All I'm going to say is it's going.
Neither am I.
It's going 7, and I'm so
it's
excited.
Going 7.
I'm so excited.
It's going to go Game 7 OT with a 5-minute OT. Everyone's going to be on the edge of their seats.
All I got to ask is who's casting this game? Who are we getting? Are we getting Tanner? Maybe Tanner to
oh my
Tanner, little unk action maybe.
Do Tanner and Bennis, because then it'll be a major league player from each org.
Screech is playing, guys. Screech will be playing.
Yeah, what are you guys on about?
Yeah. Precons and Souls on the desk? Oh, that's a good one. Let's do that.
Honestly,
let's get
I'm down for that.
Precons and Souls, if you're here and listening.
You know they are.
Let's get you guys to cast the potential Tornadoes Cubs semifinals. I think that'd be so good. 4-1
yeah,
Demon
honestly,
Arc Screech.
Oh.
Apollo does not
All right.
agree. Apollo does
no, you know
not
what?
agree.
No. That's okay. That's okay. Every time he's bet against a team in our organization, he's been wrong. So I'll take that prediction. I'll take it.
Fuck, Screech, shut the fuck up, dude. Just teasing.
I'll screenshot it right now. It's official.
All I gotta say, whoever wins ours is winning the chip. It's gotta happen.
Yeah,
just gotta happen.
I'm with that on you.
I
mean, I really, it would be honestly picture perfect.
The Draco's good, absolutely.
Win. Dude, if Coyotes win, do you know how sweet that would be? And then potential grand finals of Tornadoes Cubs. That'd be pretty neat.
It'd be pretty cool, but.
It'd be pretty neat.
I got Dracos in that one. I got Dracos.
Yeah, me too.
Dracos
me too.
We'll see what happens.
Who knows? Maybe something happens. Terry breaks a leg. I don't know.
Does he even
maybe
have
he's
legs?
limping back towards net. He does. I'm the one that doesn't have legs that work.
Also, I just want to quickly shout out a couple of individuals. Tanner, Wool, Screech. Who else am I forgetting? You know why I'm saying this. Who else last night? Precons.
Dilo.
We have 41 active subscribers right now.
We appreciate you guys a ton.
That is unbelievable. We are so thankful for all the support from you guys this season. Like, genuinely, this has been the best season. I mean, I went up and tallied them. I think we've done like 42 streams this season. Oh, and Trent coming in with a 5 gifted. That was not meant for that to be. Thank you, Trent. Welcome back. But yeah, I mean,
hold my beer.
The support this season has been unbelievable. This is the most streams we've ever done. We had every single game streamed this week. We're gonna have every single game throughout the entire playoff streamed. We're gonna have awesome production, awesome graphics. We've got team instant replay goals, graphics, and things like that are coming. If you're listening, I've DM'd almost every team asking for playoff profile pictures. If you
Send
have
them
a
in,
profile
please.
picture you want on stream, please send them to me. Send them to my DM. I'm not going to ask again. I've asked once. If you send them to me, great. If you don't, you're just going to get your generic team logo, but it's a chance for you guys to showcase a little bit. You get to put yourself on stream. If you have your family or your friends watch, you get to be like, look, I'm on stream. It's cool. It's our way of giving back to you guys, is doing this production, and being able to showcase your guys' skills. So use Chaos's suggestion. I honestly haven't read it.
Let me scroll back up.
Did he say it in their team chat, maybe, CJ?
It very well could be.
Anyway, I'll read it later. But yeah, it's just a little way for us to get back to you guys, to put you guys on stream. Perfect, CJ. I'll read it later. But yeah, so we super appreciate you guys. Super appreciate the support all season long. It's been awesome. It's been an amazing season. We've got, let's count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 10 total series left between all of them with the grand finals. We have kind of thrown around the idea of doing a all-star game again, kind of doing like an all-pro type thing. Obviously, we as commissioners, we name our first team and second team all-pros each season. Would be kind of cool to showcase them in the off season. It wouldn't be during the season. It would be probably a week or two after the season is over. Might get those guys on for a stream. We've also talked about, and this is just up in the air for now, obviously we're going to have like a 3-4 week break in between seasons. We might be doing some tournaments on each weekend, just a sign up as you guys want to. We might be doing 2s, 3s, not sure yet. Just like a single day tournament you guys can sign up for. If we get enough teams, we'll run a little bracket, do a little round robin action. You guys can spend a Sunday competing against each other. It's also a good way for you guys to stay refreshed, keep your guys' skills going, and then also for captains, GMs, things like that, you guys can start to scout for the next season as we move closer into season 4. So a lot of cool big things coming. I did mention a couple weeks ago about the whole gambling thing. I have finished that. That is done. I'm just not rolling it out until season 4. I figured we finish season 3. We'll allow it to start in season 4. That way I have a little bit of time to predict or like fully finish it, and then explain it all to you guys and how it'll work. But I think you guys will thoroughly enjoy that. It's going to include the Twitch channel points. It's going to include Vic Series points in the Discord. It'll be pretty fun, and I think you guys will thoroughly enjoy it. It'll definitely put a lot of pressure on some teams, because I know that friends will bet on friends, and there's going to be some cool rewards you guys can get for cashing in some of those points. So it'll be fun times for all. I think that pretty much wraps it up. We went over players of the week. We went over the standings bracket. Recapped this week's games. I'm not sure when our next talk show will be. We obviously have the wildcard matches finishing up before Friday night. I think your game is the last game Friday night.
I believe so.
I might be able to... Oh! Sorry, my head's all over the place. We're doing Velocity Series apparel next season, which will be super cool. We're going to have the options for you guys to get polos or t-shirts with your guys' team logos on them if you guys want to. We're, as a staff, getting the Velocity Series logo put on some polos that we'll wear on stream each night. It'll be super cool. Get a little bit more professional, but you guys will have the option. We're going to catch you guys some discounts. You guys will be able to order some team logos and things like that. Might do some hats or something. I got hooked up with a supplier already here in Phoenix, so we'll be able to do that for you guys. I think that'll be cool way. Spend a couple of bucks, maybe get the guys some shirts or whatever. It might be cool.
Yeah, I think it's honestly super cool, because even if someone is not playing, you can still support the league and your friends by, let's say, getting a jersey with their name on it or something, or just their team logo. I mean, it's definitely going to be something it's going to be really cool.
Yeah. Chuzzy guy jersey. What a guy Screech is. But anyway, sorry, talk shows ran a little bit long today, almost hitting an hour. Usually we try to keep it a little bit shorter than that, but had a lot to go through. Obviously, the playoffs are super exciting time. I would plan, obviously, our next stream for sure is going to be Wednesday night that I know of. We're going to have Sharks and Ninjas, so don't miss out. And then as each playoff series finishes, I'll be updating everything in the Discord immediately. And then hopefully we will do a second talk show next Monday, depending on scheduling for these semifinals games. The semifinals games can be played up to Monday. If we have to do it, we might do a talk show before the grand finals on Tuesday to kind of really go over all of the grand finals, everything that happened in the playoffs up to that point. But we'll see kind of how things shake out. The grand finals will be played by next Thursday night. By next Thursday, we are crowning a champion. So clear your schedules. I know that this is just a for fun league that you play in, but we've got strict deadlines. We've got to get things done and played in time. You've got until Friday to play your wild card games. You've got Saturday, Sunday, Monday to do the semifinals. If you're a wild card team, clear your weekend. Or not clear your weekend, but find a time.
Be ready.
Be ready, because if you win on a Thursday night, you might need to play on Saturday, and you're going to have to start planning for it. So start planning now for this weekend for semifinals, and then when it comes to grand finals, we got a couple of days to have a little bit of leeway there. Absolutely make sure that we're going to have all 3 starters from either team there so that there's no subs or no roster changes. Every team is content with who they've got on the field in the grand finals. We'll make sure that happens. We'll work with you as much as we can. That is it from me. Anything else to add, Apollo?
No, I don't think so. Just really hitting that point of we really appreciate you guys, whether it's tuning into the stream, playing in the league, just being active in the Discord chat, whatever it may be. I mean, we wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, and this is something that, what was it, a little over a year ago, you and I kind of just reconvened and we're like, hey, let's do this again, and it's honestly been such a blessing.
Yeah, it's been so fun, and it's been so awesome to reconnect with so many of you guys. We all knew each other 4 or 5 years ago, and then just like I hadn't really talked to anybody in 3 or 4 years, and I was like, man, I miss the guys, and it's been awesome to hear all you guys again, to game with you, get shit on in 6-mans. I love it. Love getting called a scrub. It's my favorite, but. Yeah, it's just been awesome to be able to do this for you guys again and do it at a more professional level than we did previously. And I really, really appreciate each and every one of you who have signed up and competed and showed up to your matches on time so that I don't have to yell at anybody, because I don't like doing it.
It's not a fun thing.
All right, that's going to wrap it up. Thank you so much to everybody who tuned in. We will catch you on Wednesday night. Ninjas and Sharks, be there or be square. And we'll see who comes out on top in our first wildcard matchup.
Have a good night, everyone.